1246, Pope Innocent IV agreed to call another crusade, but there were problems in Europe. Henry III of England had problems with his powerful nobles. Emperor Frederick II had been excommunicated for his many misdeeds. The Italian city-states were more interested in quarreling with each other, and Spain and Portugal remained committed to the Reconquista. That left only Louis IX of France, who was very devout and loyal to the Church. He knew personally St. Thomas Aquinas, who would frequently dine with the king. King Louis was happily married to Margaret of Provence. However, the formidable mother of Louis, Blanche of Castile, disapproved of her son's pretty young wife. The servants were given orders that whenever Blanche approached her son's rooms, they were to alert the couple, and Queen Margaret would slip away via a narrow back stairs to her own chambers. However, despite Blanche's disapproval, Louis and Margaret had 11 children.
Louis was an extraordinarily pious man. He was very keen on collecting relics, such as the crown of thorns, for which he built the stunning Sainte-Chapelle, which still stands in Paris. But Louis gathered an enormous crusade together, so the plan is an invasion of Egypt. Early on, he's extremely successful, almost surprisingly successful. He takes the city of Damietta on the northern coast and moves down the Nile towards Cairo, where there's a big battle at a place called Mansoura, where against the king's orders, his brother charges on ahead into the city and is then trapped. With many of the leading Crusader knights, the gates are shut and these men are massacred. All the momentum of the victory is taken away. And after a while, they decide to retreat and the Muslim forces surround them, pick them off, and in the end, the King of France is captured. A terrible blow to Christendom and a real blow to Louis himself.
On his first crusade, Louis took his wife, Queen Margaret, with him. When he was captured, she was in Damietta and had just given birth to a son. The Muslims, with their elite Mamluks, had surrounded the city, but she still managed to inspire the defenders of the city, who negotiated a safe passage for her and the garrison. They also paid a large ransom for King Louis and his men.
Louis's behaviour on the crusade is admirable. I mean, he certainly stays with his men. There was an opportunity during the retreat where perhaps he could have slipped away and got to safety, but he's determined to be the leader, the figurehead, the king that he should be. Louis decides to stay in the Holy Land for a few years. He wants to try and recover the Christian prisoners who were taken in the retreat as he was trying to go back to the northern coast of Egypt. And also he helps to consolidate the castles on the coastline in the Holy Land. He feels a responsibility. He feels he's let people down by this. And it really affects his behaviour over the next decades. He becomes very austere, even more austere. He renounces fine clothes and swearing is banned, whether realistically or not. And even to the point where some of his loyal courtiers say, well, you should look a bit more like a king, you know, you're taking this a touch too far.
Salve Regina, Mater Misericordiae, Vita dulcedo et spes nostra salva.